Shai is somehow even better. 55 points. That's what Shai dropped tonight. Not 35, not 40. 55 in game number 2 of the season. And no, it wasn't in some meaningless blowout either. This was against the team they beat in the finals. This was a double overtime war, and Shai just decided he wasn't gonna lose. He played like the game owed him something. He didn't just score 55 points, he made 23 of his 26 free throws. That's insane volume, and even more insane efficiency. The guy basically lived at the line, and Indiana could not stop fouling him, and he made them pay almost every time. He also knocked down 27 total field goals, which is just completely ridiculous. That's not a typo, that's domination. He scored 26 of his 55 in the fourth quarter, and both overtimes combined. That's when most guys are gasping for air and asking for a sub. He turned it up instead. He averaged 45 points through the first 2 games of the season, and the man is acting like the MVP race is already over. He's not just playing at a high level, he's playing at a level most players never even touch. And it wasn't just the scoring either. Shai pulled down 8 rebounds. That's 8 times he cleaned up the glass and got his team another possession. He also handed out 5 assists. It's not like he was out there gunning selfishly, he was creating offense for other guys too. He added 2 steals and a block just for good measure. So yeah, he did a little bit of everything. Also, let's just go back to the free throws real quick. Hitting 23 of 26? That's beyond elite. That's the kind of thing that makes coaches sleep easy and opposing defenders lose their minds. Because what are you even supposed to do? He drives, you foul, and then he casually sinks 2 more. This game was his career high in scoring, and it came in the second game of the season. He didn't even wait a week to hit that level. He just walked into the gym and threw down 55 like it was a Wednesday pickup game. And he wasn't even at home. This was on the road. That makes it even crazier. The fans were against him, and he still went off like that. He's now tied with Russell Westbrook for the most 50-point games in franchise history with 5 50-point games. And he just keeps adding to it. And get this, he scored 27 points in overtime this season. That's already 9 times more than he had in all of last season, in 2 games. And we're not talking about some random Tuesday night matchups. The Thunder have played 2 games this season, both went to double overtime. The Thunder became the first team in 24 years to open a season with back-to-back overtime games, and they won both, mostly because Shai refused to lose. This Thunder team isn't even healthy right now. No Jalen Williams, no Cason Wallace, no Alex Caruso. 3 huge pieces, missing, and yet they're 2-0. Why? Because Shai exists. That's why. He's doing all this while missing 2 of their best defense guards and another key offensive weapon. He's already leading the league in scoring. He's already stacking MVP-level stats. And again, 2 games. That's all it took. And what's wild is how consistent he's been across both games. It's not like one was a fluke. He's averaging 45 points per game. That's not a typo. That's the reality. Tonight's game wasn't even played at a normal pace. This was a grind. Both teams were throwing haymakers. Pascal Siakam was doing everything he could for Indiana. The Pacers pushed it to 2 overtime. They were desperate for revenge, and it still didn't matter. Shai still dropped a 55 bomb on their heads, and he did it on 48% shooting. That's efficient for a regular game, let alone a double overtime slugfest where he took a ton of shots. And even when the legs should have been tired, he just kept coming. Fourth quarter and overtime is when he scored almost half his total points. You could tell Indiana was doing everything they could to stop him. They tried throwing bodies at him. Didn't matter. He found a way, over and over again. Free throws, mid-range, finishes, whatever was needed. He had it, and the confidence never dipped. He looked like he expected to score 55. That's how in control he was. And by the way, this was the Thunder's first game of the season, on the road, and it was against the exact team they beat for the championship. Indiana had this game circled. They came with everything, and they still couldn't stop him. That says a lot about where Shai is at right now, mentally and physically. This guy isn't just trying to repeat as champion. He's trying to make sure nobody even thinks about challenging them. And again, no Caruso, no Wallace, no Jalen Williams. He's out there with a slightly depleted squad, and he's still carrying them. 55 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. That's just silly. And for anyone wondering if he could follow up his MVP season with another dominant run, yeah, he's already doing it. He's making it look like he never took a break. The offseason ended, and he just went right back to torching every team in his way. This is not a guy who gets fazed by pressure. The Pacers gave them their best shot. They took the defending champs to 2 overtimes, and Shai walked out with his best scoring night ever. He didn't shrink from the moment. He owned it. There's just no way around it. Shai was the best player on the floor by miles. The stats tell the entire story. 55 points, career high, tied for most 50-point games in Thunder history. scored more in overtimes this year than he did all of last year combined. Perfect from the line when it mattered, and he played like he was born for that exact moment. He's showing everyone that last year wasn't some breakout, it was just the beginning. And if this is how he's opening the season, the rest of the league better start figuring something out, because right now, nobody has an answer. And it's really crazy how good his offense actually is. Shai's offensive start to the season is already looking outrageous. After just one game, he's sitting at 35 points per game, which puts him ahead of more than 95% of players across the entire league. That's not a trend, that's a statement. One game in, and he's already launched himself into elite territory. Let's talk about what that 35 actually means. That number didn't just come from high volume, it came from calculated, ruthless efficiency. He made 11 two-pointers and added 1 three-pointer, taking 26 shots total. That puts his points per field goal made right at 1, which means every bucket counted. He wasn't just chucking shots, he was maximizing them. His effective field goal percentage sat at 48.1%, and while that might not be astronomical, it's still higher than 40% of players in the league. Combine that with his true shooting percentage of 53%, and now we're talking about an offensive weapon that's doing serious work without bleeding possessions. His scoring attempts were split across field goals and free throws, and with 14 trips to the line, he's proving that he can get points the hard way. And often, that true shooting percentage is especially important. It's not just about field goals, it factors in free throws too. And Shai had plenty of them. 14 free throw attempts in one game is no joke. That number puts his scoring attempts at 33 for the night, and he turned that into 35 points. That's 1.1 points per scoring attempt, which places him above 78% of all players in the league. Again, one game, and already he's more efficient than 3/4 of the league. But offense is not just about putting up points. It's about controlling possessions. His usage rate, 34.3%. That means over a third of all offensive possessions when he was on the court ended with a shot, a free throw, an assist, or a turnover by him. That's a heavy load. Not everyone can carry that and stay productive, but he did. In fact, that usage percentage ranks higher than 95% of players. He's not just involved, he's dominating possessions, and he's not careless with the ball. His turnover percentage was 8.3%. That's just 3 turnovers out of every 100 actions he took that ended a play. In a game where he was responsible for 33 scoring attempts, 5 assists, and 3 turnovers, that level of control is elite. That turnover percentage is better than 95% of players. He's absorbing a huge offensive role and barely giving anything away. Let's move to the ball handling. His ball handling metric was 78%. That measures control, decision-making, and pressure resistance. For a guy playing a guard-heavy role in a modern offense, that number shows how polished he is with the rock. He's well above average in a category where shaky hands get exposed fast. And speaking of playmaking, he dropped 5 assists. Those assists led to 14 points, which means that between his scoring and his passing, he accounted for 49 points in total. That's without even counting the hockey assists or the spacing effect he creates. His assist percentage, the number of teammate buckets he assisted on while he was on the floor, came out to 20.83%. That's a high level of creation for someone who's also putting up massive scoring numbers. His assist to turnover ratio is sitting at 5-3. Again, in a game where he touched the ball as often as he did, that's a great balance. He wasn't trying to do too much. He was making things happen without forcing things. He created looks, took what the defense gave him, and still kept his team moving. Now let's zoom out a bit and look at the advanced numbers. His true shooting percentage, again, that's 53%, might not scream perfect efficiency, but here's the context. The league median is lower, and his volume is sky high. The best players don't just shoot efficiently, they do it while carrying a massive load, and he's doing both. And speaking of load, his offensive load metric, 61.6. That puts him in the 99th percentile. That's as high as it gets. That number combines everything, usage, touches, creation, scoring attempts, into one value, and Shai's in the top 1%. He's not just being asked to do a lot, he's being asked to do almost everything, and he's thriving in it. Let's hit some of the percentile rankings, because they're telling the full story. His true shooting, 91st percentile. His shot quality, 82nd percentile. That means he's generating strong looks, and he's turning those into buckets. His free throw rate was over 40%. That's in the 93rd percentile. That tells you how often he's getting to the line. Drawing contact is part of his game, and he's doing it better than almost anyone. His three-point attempt rate was 25.7%, which is in the 20th percentile. That means he's not leaning on the 3 ball to rack up points. He's getting it done the old school way, driving, mid-range, and contact. And the beauty is, it's working. His offensive rebound rate is low, but that's not his job. He's not in the paint, hunting for second chances. He's the one creating the first one. His crafted offensive plus-minus, that's an all-in-one offensive impact stat, came out at 6.4. That puts him in the 100th percentile. Translation, no one has been better offensively. That's the highest possible ranking. He's creating advantages every trip down. Every possession with him is a threat. Not a lot of players can say that. He's already producing at the very top tier of offensive efficiency and control. Let's not skip the turnover control numbers. His contextual turnover rate was 5.5%. That's the percentage of his plays that ended in a turnover when adjusting for usage and role. That number lands in the 90th percentile. So even when taking into account how much of the offense flows through him, he's still better than 90% of the league at protecting the ball. Creation metric, 14. That number might not mean much until you realize it's also in the 99th percentile. That tells you how many quality shots he generates for others through drives, passes, and movement. He's not just a scorer, he's initiating everything. It's not just about his buckets, it's about the buckets he makes possible. Portability, which measures how well a player's skill set translates across different roles and systems, came out at 6.5. That's in the 78th percentile. He's got a game that fits everywhere, but he's still unique in how he applies it. Not many players can be both system-proof and system-defining. Passer rating was also 6.5, landing in the 82nd percentile. That means his decisions are solid, his reads are advanced, and he's delivering the ball where it needs to go. He's not just dumping it off, he's actively manipulating defenses to get the right pass at the right time. All these numbers, every single one of them, are from one game, one night, and he's already established himself as the engine behind the offense. He's not just taking shots, he's crafting possessions. He's running the show, scoring in bunches, and still keeping the ball secure. There's a reason he's posting numbers that land in the top 10% or better in nearly every important offensive category. And this isn't coming with a ton of three-point reliance or stat padding. His three-point rate is low. His scoring is coming from everywhere else. He's mixing drives, mid-range, floaters, and contact finishes. He's living at the free throw line and still keeping the flow of the offense intact. All told, this performance is shaping up to be the blueprint for how an elite scorer and creator operates. He's scoring more than 95% of players. He's taking care of the ball better than 90%. He's generating more offense than almost anyone, and he's doing it without sacrificing efficiency. If this is the baseline for the season, there's no telling how high the ceiling is. He's not just off to a hot start. He's laying the groundwork for another monster year, and the numbers are already showing it. And we can say the same for his defense. Shai's defense is not just solid, it's strategic, versatile, and wildly underrated. One game into the season, and the numbers already show he's doing more than holding his own on that end. He's putting himself in the 91st percentile in crafted defensive plus-minus. That's not a casual stat. It's a full picture rating that takes into account impact on possessions, team stops, and individual pressure. And Shai's in the top 10% of the entire league. That's elite territory. Let's start with the disruption stats, because those are loud. He had 2 steals and 2 blocks in that one game. That combination alone puts him above most guards in terms of defensive activity. 2 blocks from a guard is not something you see every night, and his block percentage backs it up. At 3%, he's in the 82nd percentile across the league. That's not just good for a guard, that's good, period. Now let's talk deflections. Shai recorded 2.9 deflections, which lands him in the 72nd percentile. That means he's constantly getting into passing lanes, tipping balls, and making life uncomfortable for opposing playmakers. It's one thing to guard your man. It's another to make your presence felt across the court. Shai does both. He also ranked in the 93rd percentile in ADTO. That's adjusted defensive turnover rate. It measures how often opponents cough up the ball when a specific defender is involved. Shai's at 0.7. Translation, he's directly contributing to turnovers at a very high level, and he's doing it without gambling. He's disrupting without leaving the back door wide open. The defensive rebounding numbers are a bit of a mixed bag. He pulled down 5 defensive boards, but his rebounding value sat at negative 0.8, which places him in the 21st percentile overall. So no, he's not a dominant rebound, but context matter. His defensive rebound percentage was 11.11%, which is actually better than 95% of players. That means when he's in position, he's clearing the glass. The drop in overall rebounding value likely comes from a lack of offensive rebounds, which isn't surprising. He had 0. But let's be honest, nobody's out here asking Shai to crash the offensive glass like a power forward. His role on the boards is selective and mostly defensive, and when he needs to grab one, he can. Where he really shines is in rim deterrence. His rim defense stat is negative 2.3, and that might sound like a bad thing until you realize what it actually means. He's in the 63rd percentile for rim defense, above average. For a guard, that's significant. He's not a paint protector, but when guys get near the rim and he's the last line, he holds up better than most. Rim frequency when he's on the floor is 37.2%. That's right in the middle at the 52nd percentile, which means opponents aren't getting to the rim more often because of him. He's not bleeding drives. And considering how many ball-dominant guards he faces, that matters a lot. Now, versatility. This one's big. Shai scored a 78.6 on the versatility metric, which ranks him in the 83rd percentile. That's elite flexibility. That means he's switching onto different positions, staying in front, and not becoming a mismatch problem. That's not something you can teach easily. It takes feel, awareness, and discipline. And he's got it. His RPF, that's relative personal fouls, is at negative 0.5, which means he's fouling less than expected for someone in his role. That's in the 77th percentile. He's staying physical without sending guys to the line, and that's incredibly valuable for a player tasked with guarding dynamic scorers. His mixed team defense score, a composite that blends individual and team level impact, was 95%. That's almost as high as it gets. That rating looks at how well he stops players himself, plus how well the team defends when he's on the floor. And the result is clear. When Shai's defending, opponents aren't having a good time. That's reinforced by his defensive rating. At 109, he's helping his team hold opponents to a reasonable number. That number by itself doesn't tell the whole story, but combine it with everything else. The deflections, the steals, the rim deterrence, the block rate, the turnover creation. And it paints a clear picture. He's a net positive defender. And the net rating, the difference between offensive and defensive rating, is plus 2.1. That means when he's on the floor, the team is winning those minutes. That's what matters. His presence leads to success. Simple as that. One of the most telling stats is the on-off differential. When he's on the floor, the team is 5 points better compared to when he's off. That number alone ranks in the 77th percentile. So not only is he individually strong, but his presence elevates the entire unit's effectiveness. And the games with positive plus minus, 100% so far. Every minute he's played, his team has outscored the opponent. That's not just about his offense, it's a full game impact, and defense is a huge part of it. Even looking deeper into the crafted defensive plus minus, that 1.8 number doesn't lie. It's top 10 percentile in the league. That's not a role player stat. That's a primary guy playing high minute, high leverage defense and still coming out on top. That's not easy to do with the amount of responsibility he carries offensively, but he's managing both sides. What makes it more impressive is the way he handles all of this without racking up fouls. That RPF we mentioned earlier, that shows he's being smart. He's playing physical without giving away freebies. It means he's staying on the court and not putting the team in trouble. It means the coaching staff can trust him in tight moments. His positioning is clean. He's not just relying on athleticism. He anticipates. You can see it in his deflection rate. He's reading plays before they happen. That's not a reactionary defender. That's a proactive one. And it's reflected in the data. That to RADTO, the forced turnovers he's responsible for, shows how disruptive he is in help situations. When an opponent tries to force a pass or drive through a gap and he's there, bad things happen. And that's showing up in the numbers. Shai is also playing in a system that leans on communication and rotations. And here's the thing. Rotations fall apart if even one guy is slow or out of place. But with his versatility rating near 80 and his defensive teamwork metrics above 77%, it's clear he's not the weak link. He's a glue guy. He's a connector on defense. Even if he's not the loudest highlight reel, even the matchup data shows that he's not being targeted. Opponents aren't picking him out to attack. That means he's doing his job and doing it well enough that teams have to look elsewhere. And when your main offensive option is also a sturdy defender, that's a huge edge. Let's not forget, defense is often about energy and mental stamina. And somehow, Shai is giving elite effort on both ends. He's drawing double-digit free throws, carrying over 30% of the offense, and still locking in defensively. That's not normal. That's rare. This is one game into the season, and already his defensive numbers are stacking up with the best. He's got stats in the 80s and 90s across categories that require timing, effort, and discipline. The steals, the blocks, the rim defense, the versatility, the disruption rate, it's all there. This isn't a two-way label tossed on for fun. This is backed by numbers. He's guarding at a high level and still finding ways to make an impact, even when he's not directly on the ball. His presence shifts plays, his reads break up sets, his timing shuts down attacks, and it's measurable. So even if the scoring headlines get all the attention, the defense is holding its own. Actually, it's doing more than that. It's shaping possessions, fueling transition, and giving Oklahoma City the kind of two-way dominance that turns game. Shai is a high-impact defender. The stats prove it. The rankings prove it. And when he's on the floor, the results speak louder. Overall, though, Shai isn't just back. He's better. Somehow, impossibly, he's better. And no one should be surprised at this point. What he's doing right now isn't a streak. It's not a hot start. And it's not some statistical accident. This is what happens when a player sharpens every edge of their game and brings it all together from the very beginning of the season. You're not watching growth, you're watching the final form. He's taking every ounce of momentum from last season and launching it straight into another level. Not a step up, a whole flight of stairs. And the thing is, he's making it look routine. The control, the balance, the poise under pressure, the consistency in production, it's all baked into how he plays. There's no panic, no forcing, no guessing, just calculated dominance. Offensively, he's moving with a kind of command that doesn't come from talent alone. It's not just about hitting shots. It's about understanding every layer of the floor. He knows how defenses are going to react before they even do. He plays with this incredible patience that still somehow never slows the game down. He finds his space, manipulates the coverage, and finishes the job. If a team adjusts, he just adjusts right back. If they double, he splits it. If they drop, he punishes. If they press, he slips past. And every possession feels like it ends on his terms. What's most impressive is how much he's doing while staying efficient. The volume is sky high, but you wouldn't know it from watching. He doesn't look overworked. He doesn't look like he's chasing anything. He just looks like he knows exactly what needs to happen, and then he makes it happen. Whether he's at the line, at the rim, in the lane, or stepping into a jumper, it all feels like part of the same system, one that he's running and rewriting at the same time. And there's no crutch, no over-reliance on threes, no hunting for contact, no hiding behind screens. He's building scoring possessions the old-fashioned way, and he's doing it better than almost anyone. The variety in how he scores makes him practically unguardable. Every defender is stuck in this terrible guessing game where the wrong answer leads to 2 points. And right now, everyone has the wrong answer. But his game isn't just about scoring. The way he facilitates, the way he times his passes, and how he pulls defenders away from their assignments, it's all part of the offensive pressure he puts on opponents. He doesn't need the ball for long stretches to break down a defense. He just needs the right angle, the right window, and he creates something. He's like a quarterback who doesn't need a huddle, just sees the formation and runs the exact play that'll crack it open. Then there's his control. He's barely turning the ball over, even with a massive portion of the offense running through him. That kind of ball security is rare for high usage players, but he's making it feel standard. He's not just creating offense, he's preserving it. Every dribble, every decision, every moment is measured and precise. He's not wasting time, not wasting energy, and definitely not wasting possession. And somehow, through all of that, he's still defending at an elite level. That's where it gets wild. Most players with that kind of offensive responsibility take at least some of the night off on the other end. Not Shai. He's fully engaged. He's contesting shots, jumping lanes, reading passing angles, and taking matchups personally. He's not playing defense because he has to. He's doing it because he wants to shut things down. He's versatile too. Switches don't throw him. Bigs don't bully him. Guards don't shake him. He adapts his stance, adjusts his reads, and uses his length without getting into foul trouble. He plays smart, physical defense without overreaching. He's getting deflections, forcing turnovers, and rotating into help like someone who's been studying film on loop. His defense isn't loud, it's sharp. It slices into offensive sets and forces uncomfortable shots. And it happens possession after possession. He's not getting caught ball watching. He's not coasting through weak side help. He's staying locked in. That's what makes him such a problem for teams. They have to plan for him on both ends. He's not the guy you attack. He's the guy you avoid. And that defensive impact shows up in every meaningful way, from advanced metrics to scoreboard shifts. when he's on the floor. There's this balance in his game right now that feels almost unfair. He's doing the work of two players and doing it better than most of the league does with half the responsibility. And when the game gets tight, when it's late, when legs are heavy, when coaches are making desperate adjustments, he gets better. That's what separates him. He doesn't just survive pressure, he thrives in it. And all of this is happening while some of his team's key pieces are out. He's carrying a heavier burden than usual and making it look lighter. That's not a hot streak. That's not early season adrenaline. That's a superstar who's taken another leap, and it's visible in every category that matters. The scoring, the creation, the efficiency, the control, the versatility, the defense. Every part of his game has tightened, and every part is hitting at the same time. There's no weak spot. There's no phase of the game where you can point and say, that's where he's vulnerable. He's answering every challenge and doing it like it's the most natural thing in the world. It's rare to see a player start a season like this, not just putting up numbers, but putting together complete performances that dominate both ends of the floor. Shai's doing that, and he's making it feel inevitable. You can talk about MVP buzz, or league rankings, or whatever else, but none of it captures what it's like to actually watch him right now. He's not just the best player on the floor, he's the one bending the floor. Everyone moves around him. He's dictating tempo, dictating strategy, dictating outcome. This kind of start doesn't just set the tone for a season, it sets the tone for everyone else in the league. It forces adjustments, forces double teams, forces new plans. Opponents have to build their game around slowing him down, and even then, most of them won't. That's the level he's at right now. It's not just that he's putting up big nights, it's the way those nights come together. Every stat is backed by impact. Every moment is backed by control. There's no chaos, no luck, just methodical destruction of every scheme thrown at him. You're not watching a breakout. You're watching a player who's been elite, refine every inch of his game to become even more dangerous. He was already one of the best guards in the world. Now, he might be the standard. And the scariest part, it's just the beginning of the season. If this is how he's starting, imagine how it ends. If you guys enjoyed this, I'll be posting every day. I genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. Thanks for watching.